Hey guys, I'm Andrew McComb and welcome to Web3 TV. In today's video, I'm with Jeremy Britton, the founder and CEO of Boston Trading Co., the world's first cryptocurrency mutual fund. Make sure you register to watch every episode of Web3 TV here, where we share inspiring stories of all things Web3, making a difference to the world. All sorted? Okay, let's go. Jeremy, with so much growth and development occurring in the Web3 and the cryptocurrency space, and also a lot of skepticism as well, can you give us some examples of some successful business use cases for cryptocurrency and I guess how it's making a difference to the world?
There's so many that come across my desk. It's really difficult to sort of narrow it down to one or two. But I'd say Bitcoin, again, is gold that you can email. And you don't need to buy an entire gold bar or an ounce. You can buy $5 worth of gold. You can buy a wedding ring worth of gold. And you can parachute into any country in the world, and people know that an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. So it's a store of value that's universal. It's scarce. There's no more of it that can be created. And it can be tested to make sure it's not fake. So that's, again, one of those ones around workable proof. Now, it's probably not so much these days with real estate scams. Certainly was a while back where people would actually sell you a house and they didn't actually own the house. They just rented the house and they'd take the deposit money and they'd disappear. Or someone would try and sell you the Brooklyn Bridge and that sort of stuff. So with some of the verification coins and the smart contracts, is really proving that you can actually back up what you say. And the best way I've seen it explained is we've all seen those books, Where's Wally or Where's Waldo? And like you can spend 5 hours looking for this guy and you can never find him, right? And someone's saying, I know where he is, but the moment they point to him, everybody knows where he is. So the way it was explained to me is you get a big bit of black cardboard and you cut out a tiny little circle in it, and then you move the bit of black cardboard over the book. And this person can say, yes, I know where Wally is, there he is. And everybody can look and say, yep, there's Wally. But then they take the bit of black cardboard away and no one knows where he is. So they've just proved that they have ownership of that intellectual property. They know, and they've proved it in front of everybody, but still people can look at it and they can't copy it. So that's one of those things where people can have a smart contract and you can say, this is why we use solicitors and conveyancers, right? I'm going to buy your house, and you say, I'm not going to give you the house until you give me the money. I say, I'm not going to give you the money until you give me the house. And then we hire two conveyancers to sit in the room and basically swap the deeds and the check at the same time. But with a smart contract, you can actually have a computer program that says this is going to be executed simultaneously, not even a split second between the changeover of the check and the deeds. And the deeds are in my name on the blockchain, which can't be edited, it can't be hacked into, it can't be overwritten. And this has happened in some countries where, through corrupt government or through war, people have lost ownership of properties because they can't prove that they own the properties. I know it happened in Zimbabwe in the 80s. I know it happened in Bangladesh and a few other countries where people have literally changed the ownership of the house from one to another. But on the blockchain, it's transparent, it's proof of work. Everybody can see which step it went wrong, and they can wind it back and say, we can see Andrew did the wrong thing here, Peter did the right thing over here, we'll switch to this track. So there's a lot of use cases. And I think I talked about Sweatcoin before, which is one that we've covered. And when I first saw this one, I thought it was a scam, right? Like people are out there doing their 10,000 steps and going for a run, and they're actually making $3. And why would any company pay you $3 for going for a run? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I contacted these guys and said, hey, what's going on? And they said, companies like Patagonia or Nike or whatever, if they put an ad in the newspaper, 50,000 people see that ad, right? Let's say it's cost them $50,000 for the ad. They've paid $1 for every single pair of eyeballs that sees that ad. But we know 60% of the world, 80% of the world is at home sitting on the couch eating potato chips. Those people are never going to buy Patagonia. They're never going to buy Nike. So that money was wasted. Whereas the people who are out there doing their 10,000 steps, they're wearing out their shoes. they're the ones wearing puffer jackets and exercise gear and, buying the Lycra swimwear and that sort of stuff. So it makes sense for these companies to say, I'm going to give you $3. I'm not going to advertise to the person sitting on their couch, but that $3 of value that I'm giving you is going to translate into, money off a free puffer jacket or whatever. So it's kind of like the old coupons back in the day, but again, it's more secure and it's getting right into the heart of the people. You have to prove that you did your 10,000 steps. You can't just go into the shop and say, I want a free puffer jacket because I used to run back in high school. So it makes things a lot more trustless. It makes things a lot more transparent, improves efficiency. And I think I said last time, we can get rid of some of those middlemen. We can get rid of some of the banks to verify the transfer. I can transfer money direct to you. It doesn't need to go through my bank to your bank. It doesn't need to have, if I'm buying a house from you, I don't need to have a solicitor or a conveyancer doing that. So for some people, they look at that and go, oh my God, so many jobs are going to be lost. And they said the same thing when the internet came around. They said the same thing when cars were invented. Who's going to be, looking after the guys who nail horseshoes on the bottom of the horses? Who's going to be looking after the carriage makers? Well, Wells Fargo was the biggest carriage transporter in the US, and now it's the biggest bank. So you adapt. And the guys who used to put nails in the horses and the shoes, they started fixing the cars because they already had the hammers and the metal. So we adapt and we say those solicitors aren't needed for buying properties anymore. They can actually go and do something else because they've already got the training to do something else. I mean, full legal training, all you're doing is sitting in a room and swatching over bits of paper. There's probably many more better things that you can do. So again, if you want to look at all the use cases for all the different ones that we've looked at, jump onto trillionaire.com. This is where we've done probably 4 or 5 years worth of research into these coins. And you can even go back and see this is where we profiled the coin months before it became a 10,000% coin, months before it tripled and doubled and quadrupled in value. So you can see the process that we went through, why we looked at it, what homework we did, how we sorted out the bad ones and featured the good ones. And you can have a look at the progress because there's no fund manager in the world who can show you 5 years worth of what they've done in cryptocurrency. We're the only ones because most of the other fund managers who started crypto fund, they started in like 2021, 2022. And they're stock market managers who have just happened to get into crypto. And out of the top 7, like 5 of them have either gone bust or sacked half their staff in the last 12 months because they really didn't know what they were doing. They just thought, oh, look, we're going to open up a shop, but they hadn't done their homework. So we can show you years and years of progress, how we did it, why we did it, and we can teach you to do it. So you don't even need to trust us. You can actually do it yourself. You can replicate our processes.
Sounds like a fantastic resource, Jeremy. Obviously, a great success story in the space as yourself, right? At Boston Trading Co. being the first ever crypto mutual fund. So clearly crypto's benefited you in the process as well.
Absolutely. It's kept me very busy. I've retired 3 times in my life. I've had 13 startups and I've sold a couple of those. And when I sold one of my financial services businesses, that's when I actually wrote my book because I just had plenty of time on my hands and I wanted to help people and educate them. And, I built another business off the back of that. 5 years later, someone offered me, a obscene amount of money, 6 figures for this business that I started for $5,000. I'm like, yoo-hoo, I can retire again. And I got bored. And I'm like, how can I help more people? And how can I leverage that, whether it's radio shows, TV shows, books or blogs or anything, how can I maximize the number of people that I can talk to so they can understand how to do this? Because it's not rocket science. Realistically, investing into property or stocks or crypto, it's not hard. The only thing that stops the average person from investing is the understanding of it. And the industry doesn't do themselves any favors when they use a lot of jargon, but most people need to look up the jargon in the dictionary. Once you get it and you go, cool, now I understand it, and I can either do it myself or I can hire someone to do it for me. But even if you hire someone to do it for you, you can look over their shoulder and you can make sure they're doing the right thing because you know what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be doing it. Oh, I'm just going to pick up my puppy for a second.
Hello.
So if anybody wants to know why we named it Boston Trading Co., That's what a Boston Terrier looks like. I'm not creative. I'm good with numbers. I'm good with maths. I'm good with the stock market. I couldn't think of a name for the company. And then the puppy comes in.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming on Web3 TV, Jeremy. We look forward to many, many years of association and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Well, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Web3 TV episode. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And remember, if you'd like to watch every episode of Web3 TV, visit the link below or subscribe to our channel. And remember to hit the bell icon so that we can notify you every time a new episode is released. I'm Andrew McComb, and I look forward to sharing more inspiring Web3 TV episodes making a difference to the world. I'll see you soon.